We take those things that we talked about 2 weeks ago. What has to happen in 2022 for it to be a success for you? What did you come up with? What were those things? What did it look like? What did it feel like to just do some dreaming, do some thinking, do some, thinking about what we're going to create over the course of the year? To me, that's exciting stuff. That's one of the reasons I love this time of year, because it's time of year to bring out a blank canvas and a new paintbrush and go, let's see what we can create. Let's see what we can make happen. Let's see what we can get done. Let's see what this could look like coming in this same time next year. Yeah, I just put it right there. This is where I put it. Perfect. What would that look like? To me, that's fun. That's what I love about this time of year. But here's what I don't want. I don't want to happen to you what happens to most people this time of year. This time of year, most people are thinking about big changes. In fact, watch y'all's ads. Those of you that are recruiting, you got recruiting ads out there, watch what happens over the course of this week and next week, especially to those recruiting ads. People are starting to answer them like crazy. Why? Because people are thinking about making changes. People are dreaming dreams. People are going, God, this is the year. We've got to change some. Some's got to change. Some people are even going, if something doesn't change, you don't know what's going to happen. But here's what I don't want to happen. I don't want you to be just another one of those people that comes up with something you want to get accomplished and then gives up on it by February. I don't want that to happen to you. Why? Because here's what I don't want. I don't want yet another thing for you to be able to chalk up and go, see, I'm not worthy. I can't get that. I don't want one more thing in that inventory. So what I want to do is give you something to take those things and make them become reality. Now, in any achievement, there's two pieces that have to both be moving in sync, that both have to be looked after. One is the mechanical. You've got to have the mechanics set up for achievement. Two, you got to have the mental game to make sure that you see it through. And it's got to be both. It's got to be both. The mechanical, hey, that's everybody that's going to go and get a gym membership next week. They got the mechanical, they got a gym membership, they got part of it, but unless they have the mental game right, it's not going to matter. They're going to do exactly what they did last year or the last time that they got a gym membership. Within about 3 or 4 weeks, they're going to give up. You've got to have both. It's no different than you can't just be, hey, with my mental power, I overcome everything. I get it when people are like that. I understand the power of the brain is insane what the brain can do. But unless you've got the mechanics to go with the mental game, what's going to happen? You're not going to get the results. And eventually your mental game that's so positive and so positive mental attitude, that's eventually going to erode because there'll be no results to back it up. That's why it has to be both. That's why both components are vital to achievement. So when it comes to the mechanical side, we'll look at those things that you say you need to get done in 2022 for it to be a success. What are the mechanics? Well, there's two basic things you got to make sure you've got taken care of. One, you got to make sure you've got the resources. And two, you got to make sure that you've got the structure. And if you would let me know when we find out who that number was for.
Yeah, text it, I'll see.
Okay. Let's see if we can find out. So I want to make sure we get that recognition. If not, we'll fix it next week. So the mechanics, we've got to have the resources and the structure to go with it. So in what we're trying to get accomplished here, and keeping the focus on building our business, the things that we need to make happen in 2022, what resources do you need? If you invest in the same number of leads this year that you did last year, you're not going to get a higher result by much of a percentage. You will get a higher result of some percentage because you will get better. But if you want to make a shift, you've got to invest more. So what are those resources? What increase in resources is it going to take for it to be necessary for you to jump from maybe just being a $100,000 a year producer to being a $300,000 a year producer like Gustavo Mercedes? What resources is it going to take? This is the time to get those resources lined up. This would be the time, not today because they're closed, but tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, these would be the days to be talking with lead performance team, to be talking with Hannah, to be talking with Ashlyn. This would be the time to find out, hey, can I increase my GMR here? Hey, what's the best way to get more of the integrity internet leads here? Getting those strategies set up. If part of, I've got to go agency manager this year, I've got to go national manager, I've got to go executive vice president this year. If that's part of your plan, what resources do you have for recruiting? What resources are you going to put into staff? Well, one of the biggest determinants when you look at people that go partner is people that have staff and structure. If we're just operating out of a spare bedroom with no help, it's going to be hard to go partner because there's no structure. There's no, it's as Brian Adams would say, it's not a proper business. We've got to, so what infrastructure pieces do we need to get taken care of? We may not be able to do all that now, but what we can do is know what we need and have a goal by the end of first quarter to have them in place. What ads are we running? Can you see the resources part? There's got to be the resources in for the end product to come out. No different than a factory. Any of you that ever worked at a factory, if there's no resources coming in, there's nothing coming off the factory line. And if there's not more resources coming in at a higher level, it's going to be hard to increase what we make off the back end of the line, the final product. So what resources? The second piece is the structure. What's your structure? We're talking specific here to what's the game plan? What's the calendar? I promise you this, and I'm just telling you, don't fight it. Don't fight it because it's true. It's true like gravity. If you don't have your first quarter calendar lined out by the end of this week, you will not hit what you want to hit this year. And I'm going to say it again because it's important. If you do not have your first quarter calendar lined out by the end of this week, you're not going to hit what you need to hit this year. You're not going to hit what you want to hit. Why? Because it's going to be too late. But we're going to be making it up as we go from behind, and that's a recipe for failure. What I want is for you to succeed. I want you to win big this year. So we've got to have our calendar in place. Now, we may need to move blocks, right? We may have an opportunity to get to a meeting where Mike Leventovich is going to be, and that would be a good use of our time. So we may need to move a production block here so that we can create that there. But we've got to have the calendar lined out for the first quarter. And when it comes to your calendar, make sure that you've got activity and time allotments. We can be good at putting up time allotments. In other words, tomorrow's my dial day. I'm going to be dialing from 8 a.m. till noon, and then I'm going to hit it again from 4 to 8. Those are my dial times. That's awesome. But what we need to do is take it up a notch and add activity numbers to hit during those times. Why? Because you and I are the same. You and I are the same. We'll stretch the activity to meet the time unless the time demands the activity be shrunk. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. How long does it take you to pack till you got to go to the airport? I've learned that any trip I can pack in 8 minutes. 100%, any trip I can pack in 8 minutes. But if I've got an hour to pack, I'm gonna take an hour to pack. That's how we are. It's how we work as human beings. So here's what we've got to do. Time and activity. If you got a 4-hour block of dialing, 50 dials an hour, 200 dials. Does that make sense? So it's got to be both, or the structure is going to be flawed from the beginning, because we'll just, it's how we work as human beings. It's called Parkinson's law. The thing will grow to fill the void in which it sits. That's how it works. That's why underachievers get so little done over the course of a day. You and I will look at an underachiever and we'll be like, how you not get anything done? It's Parkinson's law. They stretched the meager amount of activity they had to do that day to fit the day. That's why you hear underperformers talk about killing time. That's why you hear underperformers looking at the clock. They're not looking at the clock like you and I look at the clock. You and I look at the clock going, God, I need another 10 minutes. They look at the clock going, let's see, I got to stretch this on out here. There's a lot of people doing that at their job today, right? Look at, there's 5 o'clock's coming. Let's see here. If I that's the same people that they take their last bathroom break at work at 4:45. Like stretch it right on into 5 o'clock and be gone. Now you and I, we're trying to get the most out of our time, and that's why we've got to have both activity and time on the calendar as part of our structure. That's the mechanical part of it. That is as vital as the mental part. It's got to be both. I'm going to spend more time on the mental part, but I don't want you to think that I'm discounting this. If you don't have this, it doesn't matter how excited and positive we are, right? We can be as positive as we want to be, that this is the year I dropped the weight. This is the year I get in shape. But if we don't ever go to the gym, Our brain's not going to melt the pounds away just because we're positive. Does that make sense? You've got to have the mechanics. If you need help with your mechanics, get with someone that's got their mechanics. You know what I'm saying? Get with someone that's got the results. If you want to be a $400,000 producer, seek one out. You know, if you want to go board member, if you want to go executive vice president, seek one out and make sure that your structure is right. And structure is one of those things that once you have it, be flexible, but only flexible for the right things. If you get rigid and then an opportunity to come up, say Andy Albright's going to be near you doing a meeting, say Mike Leventovich or Andy Riddle's going to be near you doing a meeting. You've got to be flexible for the right things. Don't be flexible for the wrong things. Hear me clear. Because guess what? As soon as you get this in place, mama's going to call. As soon as you get this in place, your broke cousin's going to call. As soon as you get this in place, I'm telling you, just be clear, but you've got discernment. You're an adult. You know what to do. All right. Mental. There's 7 components of the mental game to make sure that you keep the mental game in control. Because if you don't do this part, we're not going to stick to this. We're not going to stick to it. Why? Because let's be honest. Most of achievement is just discipline and hard work, which ain't a fun thing to talk about. I mean, who woke up this morning going, you know what I'd love to talk about today? Self-discipline and sacrifice. That's what I like talking. No, we want to talk about fun stuff. We want to do fun. We have fun. That's who we are, right? So we've got to have this to keep this in place. Otherwise, we'll talk ourselves out of it. All right. So number 1 component is visualization. That's where we take time every day, not a lot, but periods in the day, we take time and we visualize us having achieved the things we said we've got to get done this year for us to call it a success. We take time to go, I've got to get this done. All right, what does that look like? What does it feel like? What emotions am I feeling having accomplished this? It takes time to visualize that. Now, let me tell you, visualization happens all the time. You're doing it whether or not you realize you're doing it. The reason most people struggle to create anything worth creating, whether it's in their business or their family life or their personal life, is they use visualization for the negative. They visualize the things they're going to screw up in the future. They visualize the negative that's going to come their way. God, I mean, help them, but man, a lot of them spend time visualizing and regurgitating past hurts, failures, and disappointments. That's where their visualization power is used. And so what does it create? It just creates more of that. You know, this is one of those laws in the universe. You and I, we become what we think about most of the time. We become what we think about most of the time. That's why I'm very, very on guard about my thoughts, right? What do I want? I want a happy, successful marriage. I want happy relationships with my children. I want my children to be functional adults that are contributing and helping. And so there's certain things I just can't allow my mind to, if that thought enters, I gotta get it out. Why? Because I don't want to become that. I don't want to become that. We become what we think about most of the time. It's how our brains work. What we're doing is taking control of this. And we're taking time and we're visualizing those things having been accomplished. In the morning, we're taking some time to do this. In the afternoon, take a quick mental break, take a quick mental vacation and go to the accomplishment. God, that's going to be awesome when I get that done. Man, it's going to be amazing. Dude, the party we're going to throw when we go partner, what we're going to do when we go partner, we'll fly out there on a private jet. Like you start just visualizing. And again, you got to have both, because we can visualize all day long, but if we don't have a calendar that's going to make the accomplishment happen, if we're not investing in our business like crazy, I'm going to invest more this year than I've ever invested. I'm telling you. Sometimes when you're coaching people, you have to get and be like, hey man, let's quit penny ante investing. Let's invest. As Brian Adams would say, like a proper business. I'm telling you that it's got to be both. We can't just visualize all day. You got these people, God help them, that they don't get anything done with their life. They got a closet full of dream boards they've constructed, but they don't have a calendar that works. Does that make sense? It's got to be both. All right. Now there's four key things about visualization. One is frequency. It can't just be one and done. You got to go to it. I call it I call it taking a little mental vacation. When do I do it? When I get frustrated, when I get discouraged through the day, when I'm just going, gotta get my mojo going again. All right. When these things are done, what is it going to be like? That constant visualization. You want to lose weight, keep visualizing. You want to lose weight, keep visualizing that you're on the beach, you're at the beach this summer, and man, what you look like and how good you feel and how proud of yourself you are. And I'm telling you, you do that before you go to reach for a donut, you'll reach for less donuts. It's just how we work. Our brains, our subconscious works to close those gaps. It's like, wait, that's not true. So it works to close those gaps. All right, number 2, vividness. When you visualize, get vivid. I mean, get vivid. All the way down to what it feels like to have done that, to accomplish that. This is all about getting your mind tuned to what you want to get done. Again, people do it all day, every day. People do it all day, every day. Most people just use it for the negative because they don't know that they're using it. We're just using it for the positive. All right. Number 3, intensity. How intensely do you picture it? And vividness and intensity are close. I get that. And then 4th, duration. The longer you can hold those pictures in your mind, the more deeply it's burned on your subconscious, and the more you're going to start to behave in kind. That's just the way we work. Once our brain sees what we're trying to get done, we start getting better nudges to behave better. Is how we work. Is how we work. Try and visualize. Put your hand on a donut and try and visualize that beach. That when you lost the weight, you're feeling great. Watch the power that it's like, man, that donut I don't really want anymore. Why? Because your brain's saying that's not no, that's not what we're trying to create here. That's not what we're trying to create here. It's not what we're trying to create here. All right. Number 2, affirmations. This is where we speak positive to ourselves about ourselves. I was coaching somebody up and I said, man, I'm telling you, I'm thinking about you right now. I'm remembering this conversation. And I hope you remembered it too. You got to stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself. Because when you're listening to yourself, here's who you're listening to. You're listening to that ex of yours that was a piece of garbage and all the nasty things he done told you about yourself. You're listening to parents that gave you unaffirming messages. You're listening. You're just repeating. Take charge. Affirmations. Speak it in the positive. Here's what I like about myself. Here's why I'm enough. Here's why. Yeah, I'm telling you, when you start speaking those positive affirmations and they go along with the visualizations, you're starting to create momentum. Now, number 3, this is where we take those things we said we need to get accomplished for us to call 2022 a success, and we turn them into directives. We turn them into positive, present directives. So you say, I want to go partner. I have to go partner in 2022 for me to look back and call 2022 a success. That's one of mine. So if I'm in my visualization, using my verbalization, I'm going, it feels great to be in. All right, quick update on the leaderboard. We just got it. The mistake was Sabrina Floyd was in 3rd place with $16,942 over 21 apps. And I was wrong. That was my buddy, Mr. Mark Hutchison, the week of Christmas, $19,163.52. So we got it fixed. Sorry about that. We'll get that. We'll get better. We're on a skeleton crew here today because the office, like the corporate office, is all closed over the holiday. So it's just me and Chan here today. All right, so let's get back to what we're talking about here. Verbalization. So if I'm going partner in 2022, because that's something that's got to happen for me in 2022 for me to look back and call it a success. Here is my verbalization for that. It feels great having accomplished partner and being a partner in integrity. It feels great having accomplished partner and being a partner at integrity. Here's what's crazy about verbalization. Your brain is your subconscious is very literal, very, very literal. The simpler, the better. The simpler the instructions, the better. It works for the negative too. Think about the negative verbalizations people say about themselves. I'm so stupid. I'm so fat. I'm worthless. It's the same thing. It's simple instructions. It's simple instructions. The subconscious acts best with simple instructions. That's what you're given. Just simple instructions. Think about this. When do I go to verbalization? Same time that you need this. Same time you need this. Every morning. Every morning this year, I'm going to be reading my verbalizations in front of the mirror. Why in front of the mirror? Because it's awkward and it ain't true yet. But here's what we're doing. We're telling the truth in advance. We're telling the truth in advance. What you're given is your subconscious mind instruction so that it sticks to the plan. And here's the crazy thing about the subconscious mind. You want to know where hunches come from? Hunches come from your brain trying to solve a problem for you. You don't have a magical power if you get a hunch. Your brain just works. The brain is an amazing thing. The more brain stuff I read, the more I go, dude, this is insane. The brain's insane. Your brain's constantly working to solve puzzles and to close gaps. So every morning you're giving it this, the brain's going to stick to this. It's going to go, hey, why don't you add this? Or you'll hear something you ain't heard before. Although you had a chance to hear it, you didn't hear it. I'm telling you, once your brain's working to solve those puzzles and close those gaps, that's where hunches come from. It's not magic. It's just the way the brain works. Our brain is an amazing, amazing marvel. So the verbalizations, we're giving it instructions and we're looking ourselves in the mirror and we're saying those things. Try it. I lost 32 pounds like that. When Holly had Chandler, and how's this for lack of gratitude? I give Holly a son, right? And then I'll be danged if she's not at the beach with some fat guy shortly after that. I got the pictures to prove it. It's hanging out with some chubby guy. Well, y'all know who the chubby guy was. It was me. I looked at the picture. I was like, holy crap, dude, what the heck? What the heck, man? Well, you know, Nachos Bel Grande was Holly's midnight craving. What are you gonna do? It's hard not to eat Nachos Bel Grande at midnight when they're there, especially when you're the one making the run. You can set your clock to it every time, about quarter till midnight. Steven. I saw a picture. I was like, I'm gonna fix that. So guess what I did? I got up every morning in the mirror and I said, I feel great weighing 183. I feel great weighing 183. I was not weighing 183 at that time. But it started changing my choices. And it was crazy. I would do stuff that I didn't realize. I was walking around eating an apple going, what in the heck, man? I'm eating an apple. I don't ever eat an apple. Why? Because this stuff works. This stuff works. I could have eaten an apple. Could eat an apple instead of chips. Anytime I wanted, I could have done that. Why didn't I do it? Why? Because I was not working proactively. Does that make sense? I wasn't given the instructions. All right, verbalization. Next thing, number 4, act the part. Act the part. This is when you start behaving into becoming, Act the part. You want to lose weight? Act the part. What would somebody trying to lose weight do? They dang sure wouldn't reach for another soda. They dang sure wouldn't reach for some chips. They would reach for some Whole Foods, right? They would reach for they grab a water instead. Start acting the part. You want to be an agency manager, you want to go partner, start acting the part. If you don't have staff, you got to get staff. Why? Because all the big agency managers have staffs. I love Jeremico Edwards, man. He's very simple about things, which is why he's such a massive producer and just went qualified district manager. He's like, Steven, I noticed most of the big people here all have iPhones. I was like, I guess so. I'm gonna get me an iPhone. Keep it. I'm gonna act the part. I'm gonna have a staff. All the big people have staff, so I'm gonna hire staff. Okay. Just act the part. You act the part, you become the part. Here's where people get frustrated, and I've seen people do this. They want to be the part without becoming the part. Well, I want to go board member, but I don't want to spend my money on staff. I don't want to invest in staff. It's not gonna happen, man. I want to tell you. Or you might be the first in the universe. Maybe you'll uncover some universal mystery that we've all missed. I don't know, but you got to have staff. Why? Because otherwise you're going to do work that you don't need to do. You need to only do the work that only you can do, which is sell, recruit, and build. There's so much you can build out that you don't have. You see what I'm saying? So act the part. Hey, people that are partnered, they're not late. They don't come sauntering in 15 minutes later. People that are going partner, guess what? They don't miss opportunities to get where Brian Adams is going to be. People are going, you see what I'm saying? Just start acting the part, start doing the things that someone that's already accomplished those will do. Now, how do you know how do you know that? Two things. One, pay attention. The other is, as you give your brains instructions, it will start noticing things that you hadn't noticed. You could have noticed it. I could have noticed it. We could have noticed it, but we didn't notice it because we weren't giving our brain instructions. So it didn't know what to look for. So it didn't see it. So it didn't find it. All right, number 5. Feed your mind. Bill will tell you this. I got a fitness question. I'll call Bill. I call him today. I just asked him a question. He's like, oh, do this, do this, this. Oh, perfect. Right. I appreciate it. I love having a guy like that in my life. But Bill will tell you this. On the physical side, try and change your body without changing your diet. It won't work. Doesn't matter how many reps you do. Doesn't matter how many times you go to the gym. Unless you change your diet, you can't change your body. It's just not going to work. So it's the same deal. What we're trying to change here is accomplish the things that we said we need to get accomplished in 2022 for us to be a success. So we have to have a diet, a mental diet that matches on this side. Keep in mind, resources are very much like the diet on the mechanical side. We're talking about the mental resources. So what are those resources? Be on this call every Monday, be on TWC every Wednesday, be on the Friday activity call. Be where people that are achieving things are going to be. The books, man, the books, I'm telling you, is powerful. What do you need to get better at? Find books that are on that. John Maxwell said you can become an expert on any subject by reading on it 15 minutes a day. I remember when he first said that, I was like, that can't be true, can it? Because like people that are experts, they're like experts. And I'm thinking, wait a second, how did they become experts? Oh, I know what they did. They paid a ton of money to a college so that the college could go read these books and then you could become a doctor. They weren't born doctors. They read their way into it. They read and took some tests and practiced. So you can become an expert at anything. You want to become an expert at finance? It's not hard. Read on finances 15 minutes a day, every day for 5 years. You'll be an expert. You'll be an expert. So where do you need to improve? And then get resources, get books to match that. You say, well, I only like audiobooks. Okay, we'll do audiobooks, but do books too. Something magical about cracking that book and involving more senses, which educators will tell you, the more senses you involve, the better. That's why when I read, I read not just in my head. You'll hear me kind of mumbling as I'm reading. Why? Because I'm reading it out loud so that I see it. I'm using my brain to figure out what the words are. I'm using my brain to figure out how to say the words, and then I'm using my brain to rehear the words. That's the reading. Some people say it's like in an undertone, just reading. That's how, it's powerful. It's that you're involving more senses. So it's a deeper impression. It's not a mystery. It's just science. It's the way your brain works. All right. So what is that diet? And then number 6. You're going to need to stay around the right people. If you're going to stick to this, you got to stick around the right people. Who are the right people? The encouragers in the world. We talked about this previously, right? Everybody's got firefighters and firelighters in their world, and y'all know who they are. We don't have to spend time going to which one are they? Are they a firelighter or are they a firefighter? Do they make you feel like you can be better, or do they make you feel like you can't? Firefighters put out your fire. Firelighters say, hey, here's some gas, brother. You go get it. I believe in you. Who makes you feel encouraged? Who makes you feel that you can do more? Those are the firelighters in your world. That's who you need to be around. And I'll give you one caution on this. Beware of the comfort of people that make it okay for you to be less. Beware of the comfort of people that make it okay for you to be less. We all got those people in our life. They make it okay for us to not do what we're supposed to. They make us feel okay about us not following through on things. They make it okay for us to not give 100% to the things that matter in life. Beware of the comfort. All it is cotton candy. It's mental, emotional, spiritual cotton candy. That's all it is. It make you feel okay for a while, but then you feel crappy afterwards because you had nothing but sugar. Find people of substance, people that make you want to be a better person. I'm that way within the areas of my life that matter. And if you've heard me talk for 3 minutes, you've heard me talk about marriage, because I'm very passionate about making sure I'm the best husband I can be. So who do I put myself around? I put myself around husbands that make me feel uncomfortable. I put myself around husbands that make me go, golly, I gotta get better. I got more to give. Look, Lord Davies, come on, man. I need those people in my life. I need people that'll say, hey, buddy, I love you, and I need you to hear this. You really kind of phoning it in on these three things. I need those people in my life. You need those people in your life. Beware of the comfort from those that make it okay for you to be less. It's cotton candy. That's all it is. All right. And then the last thing. This is big. Teach what you're supposed to be doing. Teach what you're supposed to be doing. This is why it's hard. This is why it's hard. It's hard to accomplish much unless you're growing a team. Like if you're just selling, we love you. Keep rocking. But I'm telling you, your cap, you put a cap on yourself. Why? Because you got nobody to teach. When I see people hiring, it gets me excited, because guess what? I know they're about to reinforce a whole bunch of positive stuff that they already know, because now they got someone to tell it to. Now they got someone to tell it to. Hey, I don't text and drive. Why? Because I got Tinsley. I can't have her seeing me text and drive. Are you kidding me? I got to behave. I got to do the right things. I can't cuss someone out in traffic. I can't, I can't, there's certain, you can't. Why? Because I got to teach. I'm a teacher. I'm on the job. I'm on the job 24/7, right? Same deal. When you're building your team and you start teaching this stuff and you start teaching this stuff, it gets deeper. It gets deeper. It gets deeper. Why? And here's another way our brains work. Expression deepens impression. Expression deepens impression. Why do you think cults get people to recite the same stuff over and over? Right? Well, why do you think stuff that works for the good? You know, we want to call it Weight Watchers or AA. Why do you think they recite stuff? It's because that's the way our brains work, for good or for bad. Expression deepens impression. The more you teach what you're supposed to be doing, the more you're going to do it. And it's one of those things, let's not try and figure out why is that the case? It's the way our brains work. Expression deepens impression. So here's what we do. We start visualizing. We start having our affirmations, speaking to ourselves, taking control of that inner dialogue. We start then using that dialogue to craft what it feels like to win, to have accomplished those things. We start acting the part. We start acting right. This is going to reinforce the mechanics. And we keep feeding our mind. Then we keep saying around the right people, moving away from the wrong people. And then we start teaching others what we're doing and what we're supposed to be doing. Guys, that is the recipe for winning in 2022. I know it works because I've done it myself. I gave you one example of when I wanted to drop that weight after we had our first child. It works. It works. It works. It works. It works. I can look at key things I've accomplished in my life, and I can point back to these things and say, every dadgum one of them, I used these things to help me hit that goal. I want you to hit the big, scary goals. I hope you set goals for 2022 that make you uncomfortable. I hope you set goals for 2022 that make it hard for you to sleep. I hope you set goals for 2022 that just scare the living, just scares you. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because I know you can do those things. I know you can, guys. I've seen people, I know the people that have already gone partner at Integrity. I know people like Mark Hutchison that write almost 500,000 with his own pen. Guys, they're no different than you. They ain't got anything inside of them that you don't have inside of you. I know you can get those things done. I want you to win at the level that you want to win. Holly and I want 2022 to be the best year in the history of your family. Let's get on these things. Let's get out. Let's get after it. Love y'all.